Warm welcome from my side to everybody. We have an exciting lineup today and a set of announcements. So I'll be going through them very quickly. But I've always enjoyed getting the ecosystem community together. We used to do them physically at customer locations, NetApp, Google, SAP. All of you guys have hosted these in the past, and we look forward to getting back in the physical format as well shortly. But the online forum allows us to talk to so many people, so we seem to enjoy this as well. So today we talk about the co-selling advantage, especially focusing on hyperscalers, but also from ISVs and GSIs, because both of them also work with the hyperscalers and with each other. So it's a connected ecosystem world, if you see out there, all working towards the same end customer. So we recently did a state of co-selling survey with hyperscalers, and here's what we found. The top three benefits of working with the cloud providers, and we segregated the answer by each cloud provider, AWS, Microsoft, and Google. And what we found was it's really about the people. It's about the direct AEs introducing each other, talking about, how do we serve the shared customer together. And if you look at Google, for example, 81% valued this benefit out of Google field sales representatives and account managers working tightly with them. Next was how do we then accelerate this co-sell motion with co-marketing? So joint marketing activities, because you have to have a joint position and joint marketing so that the customer hears the same story, especially if you look at the Gen AI message that's coming out. And next was the access to MDF, but also things like cloud consumption credits that are happening. And you can see minor variations there, but it was resounding. These three were the top three benefits that companies saw in working with each other. The next one was we also asked about the top challenges because this is not easy. And consistently, there are minor variations here or there, but you can see that it's difficult to get attention from field sellers at a hyperscaler or a cloud provider, right? How do you get attention in a digitized way? Because you have your own deal cycle to run. They have theirs, they have their priorities, and you have your priorities. How do you intersect? How do you connect? How do you get that attention together? Second is also kind of difficult to connect to partner development managers. They may be solution-based, horizontal or vertical, and having that knowledge and awareness with partner development managers of what you are providing and what value proposition you are bringing, that is key. And lastly, everybody's struggling with spreadsheets and manual processes, and this came out as the next big challenge. So there's a lot of benefit, but also a lot of challenge. And ecosystem automation, just as sales automation, marketing automation, and now ecosystem automation in this decade is coming in, the decade of the ecosystem that we talked about in previous EBSs. Ecosystem automation and hence ecosystem-led growth is something that we are looking forward to. So what can help here? And WorkSpan is a key solution in this space to drive co-sell automation, especially with the hyperscalers. But beyond that as well, it's not just for the top three clouds, but also for ISV ecosystem, your tech ecosystem, your GSI ecosystem, so across all partner types, essentially. And today we are very proud that 7 out of top 10 ecosystems use WorkSpan for co-selling. Close to $50 billion in joint pipeline is managed using this platform. And and time and again, people come back and say, security is why we buy WorkSpan, because you need to securely share only the fields that you want to share from your CRM. You may have 200 plus fields. You may want to share only 25 of them, and that's your corporate policy. And so does somebody else. So being a neutral third-party arbitrator in middle, which has gone through your security processes, but also the partner security processes, and is liable and guarantees that to both, is the main reason why companies pick us. And the fact that you can then jointly work on those opportunities together is the automation that we bring to the table. So a lot of companies there, leading ISVs, fast-growing startups, services companies, telecom companies. We recently welcomed T-Mobile, for example, in the telecom space into WorkSpan, but also a number of other fast-growing startups as well. So definitely check us out. And I want to give you a couple of other things here very quickly around co-selling. So how does it work? So think of you on one side working with your CRM system, but when you face the partners, you may be working with, let's say, a GSI or a hyperscaler or an ISV partner. You need a shared space in the middle, which is your WorkSpan CoSell app, where you can put a joint partner plan. You can work on joint referrals or opportunities that you give to one another in a secure space, and have a place where you can actually run those joint cadence calls. And one of our speakers has done this thrice, and she's an amazing person in terms of digitizing this whole partnering process and putting very important metrics in place so that you and your partners work together. So the idea is get together, give visibility and automation to this sharing of joint pipeline and managing that joint pipeline together, but also measuring it. And now the ecosystem leader can confidently stand before their boards and actually show the impact that you bring to the table instead of using loose anecdotes, for example, to talk about this thing. And here's the key piece here on the announcement side. You knew that we did co-sell with AWS and Microsoft. Today, we are talking about Google. Bronwyn Hastings is going to come later. And we are in ramp-up phase with them. The first 5 partners are live. That went really well. We'll talk a little bit about that. And as we scale to the next 25, we are very excited to bring Google into the ecosystem. Next, we also went live with a couple of top GSIs, and this is really exciting. The biggest one that we have got going now is Kyndryl. And I was just there yesterday with the executive meetings, and delighted to see that they've chosen the platform for WorkSpan for all their co-sell partnerships. That includes all tech companies, ISVs, and cloud providers. Same with Deloitte and Wipro. So the same connection that you have on your CRM side connects to WorkSpan, connects to all the hyperscalers, but also to the leading GSIs in the world. And some of these GSIs are audit firms as well. So you can imagine the security processes on data sharing, especially from their CRM, is key for them. And having WorkSpan having gone through that process, the certified to use process or the security processes around data privacy is very, very key. And you heard Hind talk about it in the video before. Akbar, Nick Holden at Google, and the entire partner leadership team there, Jose, they have established WorkSpan as a co-sell platform for Cisco as well. And I highlight that example because it's one of the first examples in the industry where we've scaled partner to partner co-sell, where it's not just Cisco, but Cisco's ISV ecosystem or hyperscaler ecosystem together with their channel ecosystem. So this multi-party co-sell is really, really key, and amazingly excited about the innovations that they're bringing to the table. So that's the first key announcement, co-sell for all partner types. It's not just for hyperscalers or adding Google, but also GSIs and ISVs put together. So the complete ecosystem story. And talking a little bit about the Google partnership, this is one of the key ones where our development team worked very closely with the Google partner engineering team and shared APIs directly from Google CRM, but also from the WorkSpan system. And we've established this bidirectional data sharing directly with the Google Vector system. Next is this automation of sending. And what really excited us and the team that was doing this was, before WorkSpan, close to 50% of manually entered opportunities did not have all the fields, were rejected often, did not result in the match. And what we did was, because of this automation, we've taken this to 99%. Just imagine 99% directly from your CRM, huge amount of automation helping. This is bidirectional. So this is not just from inbound from the partner, but also outbound from Google. And another key capability we've done is looking at the volume of these companies. These are fast growing data and AI companies often. It's not just one opportunity at a time, but bulk sharing. And we have put in automated workflows now where you can just simply say, hey, in your CRM, you can say if the partner is equal to Google, automatically register the co-sell opportunity. So you no longer need to manually do it for every opportunity. You can set a trigger in your CRM and the workflow will just take care of it automatically. Isn't that great? And we've really implemented this to be a design solution from a partner manager, but also from a seller perspective. And there are reports that are common across companies. So you're no longer fishing for data. and saying, hey, where are we today? You just simply come to a dashboard that gets you this thing. And above all, this is an enterprise class and secure product. We went through the Google security process. It was intense, a year plus in security, just to understand how the systems and processes and data sharing would work. And it's a rigorous process that includes third-party penetration testing and so on and so forth. So while it was difficult going through it, now that we've done it, it's also a key value add as well. So very excited, and thank you to the Google engineering team for working with us, and we continue to work with us as we ramp. So we're growing from 5 to the next 25 companies, and then scaling it beyond later. Here are some comments from people who did this. I'm very excited that not just sales team members and partner managers, but the folks who are really the stars behind the scenes. Just as sales has sales ops, we have seen that you guys have partner operations team members. So, for example, a leading data streaming company mentioned that they're saving, in terms of an effort, they're reducing 70 to 80% of their work effort. And the streamlining and creating visibility of joint pipeline is a game changer for another leading software company in the platform. We are going to see these stories come out at Google next, so I'm not sharing the names here yet, but it's exciting to see that there are cost savings involved as well in sharing bidirectionally and automating that process. Another one on the rightmost thing that you can see is that they're anticipating 30 to 50% renewal growth. That's the growth at which you guys are operating. And when you're putting in so much manual processes, manually entering data is no longer an option. Automation, and especially these kinds of workflows to automatically share directly from your CRM, from the comfort of your CRM. You have a drop-down which just picks the hyperscaler partner within your own Salesforce, and it goes and registers in Google, but also with AWS and Microsoft, with other ISVs, with Cisco, with SAP, with GSIs. So it's an extended story. And so that's the Google part. I'm really excited. We are going to talk to Bron a little bit later today and get some more insights about how they are thinking about the ecosystem motion, especially the Gen AI and data ecosystem around it, and what kind of transformation is she driving there to achieve stellar results for customers, but also for partners. So wait and watch for that. Now, moving to the second piece of the announcement very quickly, this is around cloud marketplaces, and how co-selling has come together with the cloud marketplaces. It used to be two different teams, especially at hyperscalers. In all companies that seem to be the .com or digital sales arm of the business, this seemed to be more of the partnering arm of the business. All hyperscalers have kind of combined these teams together and brought really, if you're co-selling and you're at the top of the funnel, in the middle funnel, and kind of closing the deal, it makes sense to now transact that on the marketplace. So marketplaces are providing immense value. We are seeing that 1/3 of the procurement done today for the channel ecosystem will go through the marketplace, and this is huge numbers. We expect 45 billion in sales through the marketplaces. This is growing at 84% CAGR. And not just this, but the customers' cloud commitments are getting retired through marketplace transactions. And that becomes a new source of budget, new source of already pre-approved budget that you can go after. And that's really key. Jay McBain, who called out the decade of ecosystem earlier, he said, marketplace used to be a rounding error. Now it is such a big force that it cannot be ignored by any channel leader. And I think we are all happy, astounded, surprised, but at the end of the day, it's about doing business faster and better, and that's why co-sell and marketplace is a match made in heaven. And you all know the benefits of listing these solutions in the marketplace. So listing is usually the first step in the process. So it gives your solution, your joint solution that you worked on, visibility to a larger base. If you list on a cloud marketplace, like a Google marketplace or an AWS or a Microsoft one, it gives you access to immense number of customers. Many customers are pre-validated to buy from the marketplace, deploys quickly into their infrastructure, and you can start and stop these services. So a lot of benefit to the end customer as well. And especially if they're buying in bulk, they have consumption to beat down. And this gives you an expanded reach in the market, huge reach across the globe. And it streamlines your GTM as well, because you are not just building a product, you get a new avenue to launch it with the right co-marketing and the joint investments that go into the space. So I was earlier speaking with Jen Guski at SAP. She leads the business ecosystem around the endorsed apps and ISVs that do spotlight and validated solutions with them. She was talking about it's not just the co-sell piece, it's actually about the entire GTM with co-marketing and building a solution, make it repeatable. And I think marketplace is a key element of that thing. And lastly, streamlined procurement. This is key. I've lost deals where we were simply not ready as a vendor. And marketplaces, these companies are already set up. The procurement process, the ability to stream through the procurement steps with the rights, processes that the marketplaces have offered, can really mean meeting your number or not meeting the number at the end of the quarter. So that's a great avenue. And this leads me to the second announcement for the day, which is WorkSpan is announcing a marketplace accelerator. This is an accelerator for quickly listing your solutions on the marketplace, making it transactable. We have the experience, the service, white glove service offering here for you guys to list your solutions on marketplaces. We'll create and manage the solution listings. These listings are your listings; they're never WorkSpan's listings, unlike what you see in the space today. And the idea is that you get a common platform that you do co-sell with, but also extend it to marketplaces now. So this is important from a full GTM point of view, with shared content and shared updates coming in one place. So very excited about that. We are launching initially with AWS, but also the other marketplaces are in design right now, and they are coming soon. The end-to-end vision for marketplaces is deep here at WorkSpan. So you saw the first pillar around co-sell opportunity management, where we manage 50 billion in pipeline, and automation is there. So that's already there, and it's available for ISVs, GSIs, and hyperscalers. This listing product we just announced today, and this will help you simplify the listing process and manage it. But very soon, we are coming up in the October timeframe with the private offer workflows as well. So the private offer workflows are in beta right now. We are working and testing with our internal releases and first initial beta customers. And the idea is very simple: offer a private offer process, extending right from your co-sell workflow. You'll be able to extend a private offer to an end customer. The end customer can actually accept it, and it will reflect on the co-sell deal being closed through a marketplace transaction. And there are very important metrics that are being captured as a result of this. One of the key metrics that is important from a hyperscaler or cloud provider point of view is how much of my co-sell business is actually moving over to marketplace transactions. So we can actually capture that. How much of it is inbound versus outbound? Maybe inbound converts higher on marketplaces from these hyperscalers. So we would be able to do those kinds of data-driven decisions because we are now finally connecting the transactions to the co-sell piece. And lastly, the insights, the attribution, what kind of companies buy through the marketplace and how it's coming out. This is key. And you already know the WorkSpan reporting is very rich and deep and secure. We are adding the transactions that are coming through the marketplace into that insight. And with Gen AI capabilities coming in, we are able to now make smarter predictions. So we'll get this out there in terms of the complete vision and picture for you guys, so that you can do the end-to-end co-sell journey. And next, as part of this exercise, if you think about the marketplace listing process, it is an extension of our joint solution process, where you can take an idea to market, and the idea can come from an ISV partner of yours, like it did in VMware's case. So VMware is just launched the ecosystem solution hub there, and the solution hub, using VMware multi-cloud capabilities, ISVs, telcos, service providers, they build new solutions with VMware. So the entire idea to launch process is now part of VMware Partner Connect 2.0. Zia is coming on later on. We'll talk a little bit about this. We'll touch on this topic, but it doesn't stop here. These solutions need to go get listed on external marketplaces, and that's exactly what WorkSpan and VMware is doing together, starting with the AWS marketplace, but soon being available for all other marketplaces as well. So exciting proof points around both these announcements. Google with the first one around co-sell, and VMware with the next one around Marketplace Accelerator. We are very, very excited to work with these innovators in the ecosystem space. And that's very, very key to kind of see the overall vision of what we are driving in the market. And this is the last slide, and we can quickly glance through this. So oftentimes we are asked, where do we start, right? We are on an ecosystem journey. We want to work with different kinds of partners, not just channel partners, ISVs, GSIs, service partners, domain SIs, managed service providers, and ISVs. Now, looking at a larger ecosystem, where do I start? Ultimately, it's about growth. It's about automation so that you can drive a growth story for your company, right? And it's about serving those end customers so that you grow together. So we recommend the starting point to be co-sell, referral, and opportunity management, because it directly gets you on a partner plan with joint opportunities with each other. And you can directly show the impact to your CRO, to your board, of what does partnering really bring to the table. So that's the first starting point we recommend. Then you can hop into things like account mapping as an example, where you now want to accelerate this process. You already have opportunities where you're working together in key accounts. What if we could add more accounts to this? So you map those accounts, and we have our friends at Crossbeam and Reveal who do those pieces, and we are partnering with them so that you can bring those account maps into WorkSpan to do what we call account planning. So account planning is essential because now you've opened the gates with your partner manager and your account leads, and now you're doing the co-sell orchestration for top accounts. And lastly, don't stop with the co-sell journey here. We talked about private offers and insights coming out of those offers as the next piece. So that top row is where you start. Start with co-sell referral management, extend it with account mapping and account planning, close the deal with private offers, and then get the insights back. So that's where we start. But the journey doesn't stop there. If you look at the full solution map below, it's about extending that GTM with joint marketing as well, joint campaign management, for example, having a shared repository for these marketing things. Come one step below, you want to have not just your solutions, but also aligned solutions listed. This is where you are co-creating things like VMware is doing, but also listing it in those marketplaces. And incentives play a key role. So just look at co-sell as an example. You want to provide a co-sell incentive to your partners. So adding those capabilities, especially around a customer cloud journey, like VMware has done. Tracy and Palmer and team have done an amazing job taking the co-sell journey and giving incentives alongside that journey to the channel partners, for example. And all of this, not just on point products, but on a shared network. And we have a fundamental belief here at WorkSpan that for other lines of business, it can be a SaaS solution. And for partnering professionals, it has to be a SaaS solution as well. But we, in addition to being a SaaS solution, need to be a network, because as our community, as people who are working with partners across the board, you want to connect with one another. It has to be a SaaS application that is based on a network principle, much like LinkedIn, as opposed to an isolated system that has, a version for every company, a deployment for every company that's completely isolated. So that's why it has to be a networked SaaS application. So thinking about your company profile, how you connect with others, how do you do it with security and data sharing processes, and onboarding and offboarding of such relationships. I think that network layer is really key. So that's our entire vision and solution map that we are prosecuting. Some places WorkSpan is building on its own. Many places we are partnering ourselves to deliver this capability. For example, in the training and certification space, we are partnering with Docebo, which is a learning management solution. And this is key to kind of how you educate the partners. So you'll hear more about our entire roadmap in coming sessions, extremely focused on co-sell, and recommend the referral management as a starting point. So with that, I would love to close this session and Chip, bring you back in. If you have any questions that came out of the announcements today and what WorkSpan does in the marketplace, I'm happy to do that.
Oh man, do we have questions? A lot of questions. That was great, Amit. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to try and pick and choose a little bit because we won't be able to get to everything right now. But let's start with, we had a question from George Jackson, but then it was sort of added to from Gianluca, our friend based in Milan, I believe it is, but in Italy. So can you manage a multi-partner co-sell opportunity, say among ISV, SI, and cloud provider?
Yeah, absolutely. Gianluca, in fact, Cisco is a key company doing this already on our platform. And the fact that it is based on the network, which was the underlying principle I last spoke about, to an opportunity, you can bring any number of companies. 3 is just a number. It could be 4. For example, in a telecom 5G use case, it could be even 5 or 6 companies. 2 is mind-boggling. 3 is amazing. But there are companies and scenarios where we could even go higher.
And then Nicole actually added to that and said, you know, how do each of the partners get paid out if you have multiple partners?
Yeah, attribution is very key. So if you look at the SAP use case, for example, they do partner splits on their co-sell opportunities. You can attribute, if there's 100% attribution, you can divide and say, hey, this partner is 25% of that value.
Nicole also said, how does this affect the seller's quota retirement?
Yeah, these are alignment questions that we are all figuring out and have figured out, actually. So most cloud companies, and we can ask this question of Braun when she comes on board, the partner sellers actually retire their quota on partner SKUs. So not just on first-party solutions, but also on second-party solutions, they retire their entire quota. And we are doing the same as a small company like ourselves. We are doing the same. If there are partner offerings that we put on our SKUs, our sales team actually gets quota retirement on not only our listed items, but also on our partner items.
Yeah. And of course, it has to be transacted through the marketplace for that to happen.
Yeah.
Typically. Maybe one last question. And this one's about the announcement. Will private offers be available through WorkSpan for all cloud provider marketplaces?
Yeah, we're working on that roadmap. Starting with AWS first, they released the APIs first. So far, a lot of these private offers were manual processes in the industry, while there was an illusion of an application, but behind the scenes, it was really manual submitting these things. So AWS was very early on kind of ready with their APIs, shared it with us, and we are working very closely with them to kind of release a product in this space. So it'll be fully automated, and we have others on the roadmap as well.
Awesome. Amit, this has been fantastic.